Welcome back to the show, everybody. Coast to Coast Sports. Lots to get here tonight, but let's start with Chiefs Ravens. Look, the Ravens coming into week one, I don't think they had to win that game, but I do think that it meant something to them. And I think specifically it meant something to Lamar. It meant something to Zay Flowers, who probably feels somewhat responsible for losing that AFC Championship game. The Ravens were the better team than the Chiefs all season long last year. All season long. But who beat them in the end? The Chiefs. Who got the win when it mattered most? The Chiefs did. And why is that? Well, the Chiefs are the better team. And the Chiefs have the better quarterback. I'm not out on the Ravens yet, although I'm not a huge fan of them for this season. I don't think that the Ravens are a juggernaut of a contender by any means. I don't think that they are going to be as good as they were last season. I think their defense, I have real questions about. Their defense didn't look the same against Kansas City. I mean, that was not the same defense that I saw last year. Maybe it's just week one jitters. Maybe it's because the Chiefs have a great offense. But I do think losing Mike McDonald hurt. I think that is worth looking into. And I'm not sold. Once again, I'm not sold on the weapons for Lamar Jackson. I mean, you see what they're out there. I mean, their second string tight end led them in receiving. Isaiah Likely leading the team in receiving. Mark Andrews was a non-factor. Zay Flowers was pretty much a non-factor. I mean, Nelson Aguilar is getting regular reps out there. He's like 34. And Derrick Henry, one of the oldest starting running backs in the league, I'm not so sure about him. 40 yards. He did score a touchdown on the opening drive, but he kind of disappeared after that. I have serious concerns about the Ravens, both offensively and defensively, honestly. And we'll have to see, obviously, how that plays out. I picked the Bengals to win the division. I picked the Ravens to be a wildcard team. I'm not sure if I like the Ravens in my playoff picture right now. I was much more impressed by the Colts. I thought the Colts' loss looked a lot better than the Ravens' loss. I thought the Dolphins looked good. I thought the Chargers looked good. I thought the Steelers looked good. Cincinnati I'm worried about a little bit, but I don't know. Maybe the AFC North won't be as good this year. Chiefs are going to be just fine. They are, of course, a Super Bowl. I mean, they're likely going to be the Super Bowl favorites all season, because why you'd be stupid not to think they're going to make it at this point, the way that dynasty is going. Mahomes, once again, Mahomes had a fine day. So did Lamar. Lamar got a lot of extra stats from the ground game, as he often does. Lamar's not going to win MVP this year unless he really, really does something historic, because they don't like giving it to the same guy twice in a row. Although they did give it to Rodgers twice in a row, so maybe. But I think Mahomes is obviously, I think he's the early front runner, and, a lot can change throughout the season, but we'll see. I'm very interested to see the Chiefs against the Bengals next week, see how they look against, again, they really front-loaded some tough games for the Chiefs, but they gave them a nice little boost because both of them are at home, right? They have to play the entire AFC North this year. And theoretically, the two harder games, Ravens-Bengals, they get at home. They have to go to Pittsburgh, which won't be easy, but they'll probably win that game. And then they go to Cleveland. So that is a scheduling help. And also, getting to play the Ravens week one is good because you're at full strength against the Ravens. And getting to play the Bengals early at home as well is good because the Bengals always struggle early in the season. So honestly, that broke about as good as it could have gone for the Chiefs, as it often does. And I'm not saying the NFL is rigged for the Chiefs, but it always feels like the Chiefs get the good breaks. As far as the ending of that game, as far as the ending goes, I think Isaiah Likely was out of bounds, and it sucks that a game of football can be decided by that thin of margins. But it's happened to my Seahawks before. If you go back, watch the 2019 final week of the season, Jacob Hollister on the goal line. So, look, it happens. It does. It's It sucks for the Ravens. I feel for them. I feel for their fans. I think a lot of them are thinking they should have won that game, and maybe they should have, but I thought the Chiefs looked better. Chiefs controlled the game. They controlled the clock. Ravens had a nice little drive at the end. Wasn't good enough in the end.